Welcome back everybody, and so I released this video a couple of days ago, and I asked you guys for other crypto that you wanted me to potentially talk about, and I thank all of you guys who responded and others that I didn't put right here, and I'll try to get to all the crypto you're interested in. But today I wanted to talk about a lot of those that you wanted, so I decided to combine them into one video. And today we're going to rank these 22 Inu coins. Now let's get started. I'm going to evaluate the coins based on a list of criteria, the first one being the tokenomics of the coins, and then give a final ranking at the end of the video. First off, Hanzo Inu, since that was the first one that was recommended, and we're first going to take a look at the token economics and how each Inu's coin system is designed. It's currently at this price and it quite dropped significantly today and yesterday, and here's its price chart which peaked at the start of the coin's life. But here are the tokenomics. Now let me explain this. If you don't know what this kind of cryptocurrency system means, I'll very briefly explain it here for you since it's a relatively common idea that we'll definitely see again later in the video. Basically, many coins now have a system where if a transaction happens, part of the money is taken away and redistributed to something else. Let me use an example. In the case of Hanzo Inu, with 2% going to holders, 2% sent to marketing wallet, and 1% burnt permanently, if there was a transaction of 100 Hanzo Inu coins, 2 coins would be split among those who own Hanzo Inu, 2 would go to the marketing team to help Hanzo Inu more mainstream, and 1 would get burned forever, helping to reduce the supply of the coin with every transaction. So the whole point of this is to incentivize people to hold the coin and to get money from the transactions that occur and to be afraid of selling their Hanzo, which would lose 5% of their money in this case. To me, I really like the burning idea, and we'll see this later on as well. As long as they can maintain the system as their papers say they can do, then the burn per transaction will help maintain a problem that something like Dogecoin has with infinite supply. One thing that scares me though is the 2% going to marketing. That's a broad category, and I know you wouldn't want someone stuffing their own pockets under the guise of marketing. But now let's go on to Chibi Inu. And on the other hand, it has a different split. And don't worry, it can get repetitive to hear similar plans 22 times, so I have a way that I'm going to tell you guys the necessary and most interesting information quickly. They have a 5% distribution rate, but instead of distribution to marketing, they give an even split of 5% between holders and burned coins, fully benefiting those who hold the coin. But now let's look at the other coins per transaction taxing rate via spreadsheet that I made. Feel free to pause the video here, but I'm going to continue to show this, and I'll also drop a link to my sheet in the comment sections below. Now I'll talk about the interesting parts about this. First thing to note, here are the coins without a tax per transaction. These are good if you want the most liquidity and if you feel like you don't want to be locked into a coin once you buy. But on the other hand, they also have a bit less safety for you since everyone else can sell just as easily. And we'll go deeper into this analysis later on, but I want to move on to the other standout coins. Now, another thing I noticed in my research is that a split of 0% burnt, 2% redistributed amongst holders, and 2% for miscellaneous, 0% for miscellaneous was a very popular split. So these coins rank similarly in terms of their system and their token economics. But now let's talk about the ones that specifically stand out from the crowd for the things, not for the percent, but for what the money's going to. And the first one is Green Shiba Inu coin. Looking back at the spreadsheet, they take a whopping 11% out of each transaction. So that's bad if you want to sell, but 2 of the taxes are pretty normal. They burn 1%, reducing the supply, and 2% goes to marketing. But 8% of the transaction goes to environmental activists. Now, this could potentially be a scam if the developers are the environmental activists, but the branding is that it helps the environment, which is why they need to get all that money for marketing to begin with to get the news out about helping the environment. Now, there are pros to cons to this, and we'll see this with other types of coins as well. On one hand, when you want to sell your coins, you'll lose 11%. But on the other hand, in this market saturation, you need a convincing enough story to stand out from the crowd. And in the case of Shiba Inu coin, that's the environment. Now, back to the spreadsheet to talk about some of the other interesting extremes out there. Rover Inu token has an even larger tax than Green Shiba Inu, with 6% of each transaction going to maintain the liquidity pool and 6% getting handed out to holders. Now to Chubby Inu, which has a feature that no other coin has that could potentially be good for its reputation, that 3% of each transaction goes to maintaining the liquidity pool, but 3% goes to charities that the holders of the coin choose, okay? Now, the effects of Chubby Inu's plan have roughly the same effect as Green Shiba Inu's, where it could hurt in the form of the deduction, the taxes on your selling, but help in the form of coin reputation. Now that's just something to think about. But the last coin that I'm going to talk about in this section of the video is Zabaku Inu, okay? Because the breakdown of 10% tax per transaction is 1% goes to the developers of the coin. 1%. Okay, so based solely on tokenomics, and as we'll get to the final breakdown at the end, if you were to be wary of any coin based solely on tokenomics, be wary of Zabaku Inu. And we'll get to this later. But now, and even more important with meme coin nowadays, the branding. Okay, we need to talk about the coin's reputation, publicity, and branding. Now, in my research, I mentioned the most interesting features about the coins that most stood out, as the other ones seemed to be decently similar to each other. And I had to go quite a bit for a few of the coins, as their websites didn't even come up through Google, like with Inu Inu coin, for example. But that aside, let's take a look at the branding of some of these coins. Of course, you can't really compete with the legendary Shiba Inu, right? As I said in this video, they have an astronomical following now, almost 500,000 followers on Twitter, and almost 130,000 members on Reddit, to name just a couple platforms. Following in what I consider to be second place, we have Kishu Inu, okay? Now for other coins, the other ones are lower in publicity to varying degrees, okay? But after all, Shiba Inu has been around for almost a year now, while most of the other coins were released this spring in the hype of meme coins. But the one that made the most impact in the shortest amount of time, Kishu Inu, definitely takes the cake. Now, some of the other coins do have interesting stories that can propel them higher, and for the sake of not making this video too long, I'll just group some together. These coins plan to allow things to be bought and sold using the coin, mostly based on NFTs. Another thing that's really interesting is Hanzo Inu's plan to have games or contests for holders to win prizes. It's just another incentive for people to buy the coin. Prizes can come in the form of Ethereum, or they're also planned to come in these forms in the form of merch, NFTs, airdrops, or Tether. And the other coins do not have extremely different branding from the basic pattern, except for Chubby Inu and Green Shiba Inu, which I talked about earlier. The majority of them use automated rewards farming to encourage people to hold their coins so that they get passive income every time someone sells their coins, like we talked about the coins getting distributed to the holders. But now, for the final rankings. Once again, these were the list of coins to be ranked, and in number 22, someone has to be last place. We have Zabaku Inu. Okay, I've talked about this earlier. It stands out from the rest as money is funneled to developers. And so if any coin on this list screams scam alert, it would be this one as most likely. Now we have a tie. Since remember how I said that many of the coins seem to almost copy each other and have very similar economics, pricing, and branding. And the tie for 21st must go to Kaisuke Inu, Hokkaido Inu, Doji Inu, and Corgi Inu, and Tsuki Inu. And I'm sorry to any owners out there, but to be a winner in a huge saturation of meme coins, you have to stand out from the crowd somehow. And I didn't see that much different behind these coins. Some of their websites were even hidden from a simple Google search. But moving on up to 16th place, we have Akidu Inu in 16th place. And while I like some of their ideas, it's just too similar to Shiba Inu, which has too much of a lead, and Akidu Inu just has Shiba Inu without as much publicity, okay? But number 15 goes to Sanshu Inu, okay? At the very least, they have interesting tokenomics, but everything else is a little bit lacking with this coin, especially in the publicity department. But number 14 goes to a coin with a very good plan, but terrible publicity right now, but there's potential with the plan. And that is Simba Inu, who plans to hold competitions for prizes and also break into the NFT world, but it's had a bit of a slow start. Now we have a tie for coins that have good, interesting plans for catalysts, but might be hard to get the idea rolling. That goes to Koshi Inu, Hachiko Inu, and last but not least, it goes to... Okay, but let me talk about Hachiko Inu a bit. Okay, they're trying to integrate a bunch of things, as this excerpt from their website says. An interesting note is that the original developer is no longer part of the project, so there might be slightly less room for this to be a scam. Now, last but not least, we move on to number 11, which is very similar to the number 13th, but we're moving into the top dogs, the top 50% of the pack. So in 11th, remember, very similar to 13th, I almost made it a tie, is Inu Inu, okay? It has decent branding, but it's a bit too similar to Kishu Inu for my taste. But number 10, Alaska Inu, okay? It has plans for an NFT marketplace, but the idea still needs to catch on with investors. Number 9, we have a three-way tie. These three coins all have a unique twist, okay? For this one, it's about protecting the environment. For this one donates to charity. And for this one, it strives to find a usage case for the coins. But now we go on to 6th place. We're moving on up, guys. And it goes to SafeMoon Inu, okay? Where it tries to cross 2 popular cryptos, Dogecoin and SafeMoon. 5th place. We're in the top 5 now. And that goes to Rover Inu token, okay? It is the one that taxes the most, so it stands out as a coin for people who hold together because of the huge incentive not to sell. So a good idea there in the tokenomics. In 4th place, we have a tie, Hanzo Inu and Chibi Inu, because both have interesting views and better publicity than most with competition ideas and NFT marketplaces. But now for 2nd place, the top of the top. And mind you, the final 2 was not an easy decision at all. I almost just called it a tie, but that's not a very satisfying ending for you guys. So we have Shiba Inu, okay? Has great publicity, great branding as the Doge killer, and a great community behind it. But now we go to 1st place. And welcome back, those of you who clicked on the video and immediately skipped to number 1. Kishu Inu, okay? At a lower valuation, a fresher coin, and a growing community, I have to place Kishu Inu at first. Of course, you don't have to choose between Kishu Inu and Shiba in the real world. You can buy both, but for the purposes of this video, because I wanted to actually have one coin a winner, Kishu Inu will take the cake. But ultimately, you should know that this is a huge, huge speculative play, and definitely don't wager money that you'll be ruined if you lose it all, and I recommend that you think about it like a lottery ticket. With that, I say thanks for watching, and I would really, really appreciate it if you could subscribe for more updates and analysis. Thanks for watching.